Now, I don't know about you guys, but when I was a young boy many years ago, all the adults used to say to me, Lloyd, make the most of your time because as you get older, the years are just going to go quicker and quicker. And at that time, I just thought it was a load of old rubbish, but boy, were they correct. I mean, can you believe we're halfway through March already? And where did January and February go? So I thought with this year flying by, I thought it was about time that we told you all about the exciting race and travel plans that we've got for this year. I think it's going to be the biggest year for the channel to date, and we have got some amazing running adventures heading your way soon. Welcome back folks, and thanks for joining us for another video, and a very exciting video, that's for sure. I'm Lloyd Purvis and this is Run4Adventure. Now if you're new to the channel, then welcome to the Run4Adventure family. It's great to have you along, but if you have been following us this year, then you'll know that my race calendar got off to a pretty disappointing start in 2024 with a DNS at the Arc of Attrition. Unfortunately, I got ill 10 days out and I just couldn't recover enough to take on that super challenging winter 100-mile race down here in Cornwall. It was very frustrating, that's for sure, but it was definitely the right decision at the time. I was really keen to make the most of my successful Arc training block because it had gone really well. My body was definitely playing ball. So I jumped on the old interweb and I discovered the trail events Lulworth Cove Ultramarathon up on the Dorset coast. Now, I know this section of coast path is epic, having run up there many years ago, and the race really didn't disappoint. So stunning route, super challenging underfoot conditions on the day, 2,000 meters of climb over the 33-mile distance, and it was just a great day out on the trails full of fun and games. So what I'll do is I'll link that video in the description below in case you haven't seen it and you'd like to check it out. Since then, I've also run my first road race, but there'll be more coming about that on the channel very soon. So what else have we got planned for 2024 race-wise? Well, we are going to start off the proceedings very close to home with the brilliant Freedom Racing KvK. Now, this is one of my favourite race routes of the year. Obviously, with it being on our doorstep, I spend a lot of time training on the trails that are in the race route. And, you know, I think I've run every edition of the race ever since it started. And I personally think on a blue sky sunny day, it doesn't get any better than the KvK route. You know, stunning Cornish coastal views, that is for sure. Also, it's going to be part of the Salomon Golden Trail series, and Run4Adventure are one of the race sponsors again this year. So should be an exciting day. That race is rapidly approaching, and what with its 15 challenging miles, its 1,000 meters of ascent, makes it the perfect sort of training race for what's to come later in the year. Speaking of later in the year, and on the 4th and 5th of May, myself and Liga are going to be travelling a long way up country to Bonnie, Scotland to take on our first big adventure of 2024. And that is going to be the Ultra X 110 Scotland. This is going to be the first time that either of us have actually raced in Scotland, and the event really does look incredible. So I've been following the guys from Ultra X for a couple of years now, and you know, all their races look really well organised. They look like they're always in a stunning locations, and their Instagram feed is just full of incredible pictures and beautifully put together race footage. So I thought it was about time that we checked the guys out firsthand. Believe it or not, it's also going to be our first multi-day running event. Now, over the years, I've done quite a few multi-day challenges, but I've never actually run in a multi-day race. So it is 110 kilometres in total distance, and that's going to be in the Scottish Highlands. So we're going to be running along the Great Glen Way and the South Loch Ness Trail. So I'm pretty sure we're going to get some spectacular views along the way. So the first day is going to be 60 kilometres with 2,110 metres. And then once we've crossed the finish line, we are going to be spending the night in a tented village. And I've heard that there is an incredible atmosphere in camp. So I'm really looking forward to that aspect of the race. Day 2 is slightly shorter in distance at 50k, and it's only got 1,375 meters of climb. Obviously, that's going to be done on tired legs from the first tough day, so things could get interesting, but we really are looking forward to heading up to Scotland and taking on this one. It looks like Ultra X have created this very special community around their events, and we're really looking forward to being part of that community come May. Ultra X 110 Scotland could also be a bit of preparation for something later in the year, but more to come on that soon. Moving on to the 8th of June, and I'm going to be running Centurion's South Downs Way 100. I've wanted to run this race for a long time, and I haven't actually run any of their events for years and years. And you know, if you guys out there have taken on any of their races, you'll know what a great job they do. Really well organised, great support from all the marshals. The checkpoints are always top class. Plus, in the South Downs Way 100, you get to finish at a running track, and I always think that's a great way of finishing a race. Obviously, I've got to get there first, and there's 100 miles, 3,800 meters of climb, and a 30-hour cutoff in the way. Also, exciting news about the race this year is that it's going to form part of the World Trail Majors. So I think it's a great time to try and tick this one off the bucket list. Now, the next race on the calendar comes with a bit of a caveat, because it really does depend on how I feel and how quickly I recover after hopefully running 100 miles. Now, if recovery's gone well and I feel nice and strong, then we are going to be heading up for the brilliant Freedom Racing Serpent Trail. It's always a great weekend away, going up, camping there, and I think I've pretty much run all the distances they put on, apart from the 100k. So I thought it was about time I stepped up and gave it a go. Liga actually took on the 100k a few years ago. It was her first 100k. She crossed the finish line with a big smile on her face, and she had a great time. And what with the fact that I've now run the 50k 3 or 4 times, I just think it'd be great to see the whole route. And you know, she said the first 50k section is quite challenging, but it's stunning. The other reason we love to go up to the Serpent Trail is you guys. You know, we bump into so many viewers up there. It's great to stop, have a chat with you, hear about your sort of running journey, your running stories, and there's always so much positivity and love for the channel. So hopefully, fingers crossed, the body recovers well, I'm feeling strong, and I can line up on the 100k start line come the 6th of July. Now, the next month of August is going to be a big one. Not necessarily for me, but definitely for my wife, Liga, because she is going to be taking on her biggest challenge to date, and that is the CCC at UTMB. After about 5 or 6 years of trying to get in the race, finally this year she has got in. So if you're new to the world of trail running, then UTMB at the end of August is kind of the trail running equivalent of the World Cup. It all takes place around the epicenter in the beautiful mountain town of Chamonix, under the shadows of Mont Blanc, the highest mountain in Western Europe. Over the course of the week, there's several different races that take place of different distances, all building up to the main event, UTMB, which is the UTMB World Series final. The route is 104 miles in distance with 10,000 meters of elevation. You start off in front of the church in Chamonix, you circumnavigate the Mont Blanc Massif, passing through 3 different countries, hopefully to find your way back to that iconic finish line in Chamonix. I was fortunate enough to finish the race in 2018, and it was just a mind-blowing experience, topped off by the fact that I proposed to Liga at the finish line, and amazingly enough, she said yes. So as you can imagine, the race and the town is a very special place for the both of us. However, the CCC that Liga will be taking on is a little bit shorter than UTMB, but don't let that fool you, because this is still a massive undertaking, that's for sure. The race actually starts in Courmayeur in Italy, and that's where we started the TDS back in 2022. And then Liga's going to be pretty much running the last 100k of the UTMB route, and hopefully get back to that amazing finish in Chamonix. In between the finish and the start line, there is some epic trails to run on, and the small fact of 6,200 meters of elevation to deal with. It is a 100-kilometer race with a 26-hour and 30-minute cutoff, so that really does highlight how tough this event is. Liga's actually spent a lot of time running in the mountains over the years, and she's completed a lot of mountain races. However, this is definitely going to be her longest mountain challenge, and it's going to be the first time she's going to have to run through a whole night. So the plan is to get out to Chamonix nice and early August probably. We're going to be spending a lot of time training in the mountains, out on the actual CCC route, so that she gets to know the surroundings and the underfoot conditions she's going to have to deal with. We're also going to do a lot lot of nighttime sessions because it's very different running on those mountain trails in daylight compared to under the cover of darkness with a head torch on your head. So we're going to make sure that she's super prepared come race day. It sure is looking like it's going to be an incredible adventure, and we are going to be bringing you guys along on all of it. So all the training runs, all the race prep, and obviously on race day. And it's going to be a bit of a role reversal. So I'm going to be crewing Liga throughout the race, returning all those favours that she's done me over the years, crewing me at UTMB. So August is looking like it's going to be an epic month. Once the UTMB dust has settled in Chamonix and the town's become a lot quieter, we are going to take a short trip over to Switzerland where the next part of our road trip adventures for this year begin. So on the 7th of September, it's going to be my turn for some mountain running fun and games, and I'm going to be taking on the challenging UTMR 60K. Now the UTMR race series is very similar to UTMB, so they've got a number of different distances over a number of days, and it's all organised by British ultra running legend Lizzie Hawker. Now, if you haven't heard that name before, then firstly, where have you been? But secondly, it's definitely worth a Google because, you know, she is one incredible lady and an amazing athlete. Now, it might only be 60k in length, but I am definitely not underestimating this one because I've been warned by people how tough this race route is. So the first thing, there's going to be 4,500 meters of elevation to get over, and I think the first big climb you come to takes you from around about 1,000 meters up to 2,600 meters. So that is a big hill. Luckily it comes quite early on in the race, so my legs should still be pretty fresh and feeling pretty strong, so it should be okay. But then you do spend quite a big proportion of the race up high, over 2,000 meters, so that can be quite challenging. So I think all that training beforehand in Chamonix, getting the body acclimatized to that thin air is really going to help come race day. Now, Lizzie Hawker has spent a lot of time running in the mountains all over the world, and she's actually won UTMB an incredible 5 times. Now, she reckons that the UTMR 60k route takes in some of the best mountain trails in the Alps. So, you know, I really am excited about this race. It's going to be great to get out on some new mountain paths that I haven't run before, taking all the spectacular views, and obviously I'm going to be grabbing the cameras, taking them along and capturing all the highs and lows on race day for you guys at home. So you can see the year is shaping up nicely when it comes to racing, adventures and travelling. However, it doesn't stop there because once we've arrived home after that long drive from Switzerland all the way back to Cornwall, we're going to be packing up a couple of bags, heading off to the airport and catching a short flight over to Norway, because on the 21st of September, both myself and Liga are going to be taking on the awesome Free Trail. Again, this is part of the Salomon Golden Trail series. Now, myself and Liga have always wanted to go to Norway. Looks like an incredible country with some amazing nature. So when the opportunity came up, we grabbed it with both hands, even though it is going to make August and September 2 very busy months. The race is 29 kilometers in length with 1,350 meters of elevation. It takes part in some breathtaking landscapes with a backdrop of Norwegian mountains. I mean, does it get any better than that? We've been looking at pictures and race footage, and it really does look like an incredible place to run and quite different to anywhere that we've run before. Within the race, there's certain sections where there's prize money up for grabs. So you've got the Queen of the Hill, which is a 3k technical uphill section with 550 meters of elevation gain. And then you've got the Master of Disaster, which is a 4k technical downhill section with 600 meters of elevation loss. So whoever runs the quickest time on those 2 sections walks away with the prize money. Now, I don't think myself and Liga will be winning any money on the day, but I do think it's a great idea. It's also quite funny that we are starting our race calendar here in Cornwall with the KvK, which is part of Salomon's Golden Trail series, and then we're going to finish our race calendar in Norway, and that also forms part of that Salomon series. Or is that going to be the end of our race calendar, or do we have something else penciled in for later in the year, say around October time? So I mentioned earlier in the video that the Ultra X 110 Scotland race could be prep for a bigger event coming later in the year, and that could be the case. So we've got something epic in the pipeline, and if this comes off, then it is definitely going to be the biggest adventure of 2024, but you're going to have to stay tuned to find out. So there you have it, folks, our race/adventure calendar for this year so far, and it really is looking like it's going to be a great year at Run4Adventure. I can't wait to grab the cameras and capture every single one of those adventures so that you guys can experience them with us. I really hope you're as excited as we are hearing about our plans, and I've got to say a massive thanks to everyone who watches and supports the channel, because without you guys none of this would be possible, so it really is appreciated by myself and by Liga. But for now, if you have enjoyed the video, guys, don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe. We will be back on the channel very soon, and as always, stay safe and keep on running. It should be a really good training race for what's to come later in the year. And speaking of later in the year, on the 3rd, 4th and 5th, their races always look really well, and that's in the Highlands of Scotland. So we're going to be running on the Great Glen. Luckily, it comes quite early in the race, so the legs should still feel nice and fresh and nice and strong. But then you do